Hello everyone and welcome to My Uncle Works at Nintendo. I'm Will, my uncle works at Nintendo.
I'm Brandon and my uncle won't talk to me right now, so I have no idea where he's working.
I'm Seth, my uncle's back to working at Nintendo.
I'm Mina and my uncle offers uncle to nephew therapy sessions.
Oh!
Ooh.
Yeah, we're gonna need it.
The healing can begin.
Look,
Because he worked at PlayStation last week, right? And after...
He heard what we said, and he was like, I'm never talking to you again. And I was like, alright, well, it was worth it.
The modern world just tears families apart, you know?
Yeah,
That's just what keeps happening.
Sorry
how's
for
everyone
being
doing this
real.
week?
Sorry for being real, uncle.
Yeah. MTV figured that out like in the 90s, and you still haven't caught up.
Yeah, I'm doing good, though. I have not been on the real world yet, but I'm doing good.
Is that your ultimate goal? Is that why we're doing this podcasting?
It's a step to the ultimate goal is to be on the challenge, like my hero Ms. Mizanian, Mike Miz.
True.
I think
That's specific.
Yeah, that's my exact goal in life. But anyway,
Saf,
Will?
how's your week?
My week has been okay.
Is this a one-by-one thing now?
Yeah,
We're doing one by one. You all have to have answers prepared.
Everyone gets individually interviewed about how their week was.
That was so out of left field, I had no idea how to respond.
Saf? It's the roll call. The teacher's doing it.
yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? I'm so unprepared.
It's been. I have a question. Because I saw some people despondent.
Okay.
Weeping. Terrified that there was
Absolutely.
not a Nintendo Direct announced this week.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did any of you feel that way, or are you just like, fuck it, who cares?
I'm
I
still
don't care.
defunct.
What's
I'm very much in the... I don't give a shit.
Yeah, same.
Would I like one? Of course. I always like a Nintendo Direct. But, because I was thinking about it the other day. What makes me itch for a Nintendo Direct? When am I pining for one? Right?
I know, because I feel like I'm feeling the same way you are. Because last time we were itching for one, it was because we had no idea what was coming out, like, after, like,
Yeah.
2 weeks from now, where, like, everything's a mystery. Now, I mean, we still know, like, the next, like, 3-4 months, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, a January Direct at this point would be... I'd be scared if we got to January and, like, right before Pokemon Legends, then I'd be like, I don't know what's going to happen after this.
Brandon, I had the exact same, thought. Yeah. So it was like, I could really go for one without one until January, honestly. Because, we have major games coming all the way till fucking Pokemon Legends, so that's, a couple months down the road.
Yeah.
Of course, again, if we get one this month or next month, I'll be happy. I'll take it. But I'm not like, oh my god, where's the Direct? It's like, all I'm worried about is where's Metroid, and that's coming out in 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, we're gonna be like, where's Metroid? And then after Metroid, we're gonna be like, where's Pokemon? And then after Pokemon, we're gonna be like, where's Advance Wars? We're good. We're set. This year, they really filled out at the end of this year, huh?
Yeah.
100%.
Also, SMT5's in there, It's like
yeah.
If you worry about the Switch's exclusives, it's you're good. It's fine. We got stuff coming.
And speaking of that, because we do have, we did this a while back. We did it for the summertime games. We're in the fall now, right? I think it would be fun to do a little, just look ahead at what is coming out, right? And check in on how we're feeling about the fall games of the year, right? Because this is the big boy season, supposedly. Let's see if that's true. But we're in the middle of September, right? A thing that is coming out, at the time of recording, is out. And this is also an announcement for this week. So we'll just kick it off with this. We can talk about it. Deltarune Chapter 2, not all of Deltarune, which is what we thought it was going to be the next time we heard from this game, is going to be out September 17th. So, that's crazy. They did an anniversary stream for Undertale and just dropped this at the end.
Toby.
Crazy.
So I know right now it's just PC and Mac. And we have everyone here has played Undertale.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone... I guess this is a weird question. Does anyone plan on picking this up when it goes live?
No.
I'm waiting for the Switch version myself, because I played Deltarune Chapter 1 on Switch, so my save file is there. So I'd rather just keep that going. Plus I have enough on my plate. Mind you, I would clear my whole schedule for Deltarune, but because it's not on Switch, I feel like mentally I could just sit back. It's like it's okay that I don't have it yet. I'm not in a rush. I wasn't expecting any fucking time soon, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna play day one, but I will play day one when I hit Switch.
I would prefer to just. I'm happy with Chapter 1. I prefer to get the whole game, but I don't know if I have enough self-control to not play Chapter 2. That's my only concern here, is like the self-control. Otherwise, I wouldn't. Yeah. I'm just waiting for the full game at this stage.
If you had told me a couple, even weeks ago, that like Deltarune was going to be released, chapter by chapter, I would have probably told you, I'll wait till the end, right?
Yeah.
But there is a difference with it actually being out. It is harder to resist, right? People are talking about it. You want to be part of the conversation. Blah blah blah. Right? I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little miffed by the way that he's releasing this. I get it. Like, going 3 years without releasing anything makes you kind of feel like maybe I should release something, right? Mm-hmm. So him changing course and going for a more episodic release structure makes sense, but
I'm curious about the length of it, because Deltarune Chapter 1 was already basically like 2/3 the length of Undertale, right? Yeah. So overall, this game's going to be larger if you add it all together, right? But I wouldn't be shocked if the story if the game grew in the last 3 years, right? In a way where like Chapter 2, I'm just very curious how much is in it,
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be like roughly around the length of Undertale, if not a little shorter, just like Deltarune, right? Each chapter. And that in itself makes it worth it to get each... it's not whether or not I would pay for each chapter. Absolutely I would, right? Mm-hmm. That isn't the issue, but the issue for me is like, man, like, having to remember plot points years in between is hard, especially for a game like this, where you want to remember the plot points, right? And yeah, I thought about I've been thinking about replaying Deltarune Chapter 1 just to, like, get ready for Chapter 2, but then it's like, am I going to replay both of them in 3 years when Chapter 3 comes out? Not saying that Chapter 3 will be that long, but, also, can I really take it at its word? Like, can I take Toby at his word when he's like, I don't think Chapter 3 is going to take as long, right? Yeah. I'm sure he has every intention, but, you never know, right?
Development's hard.
It very much reminds me of, like, every time a Shovel Knight expansion would come out, Yacht Club would be like, we promise next time is not going to take as long, right? And then it would take even longer than the last one.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Right? So I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is how I want to be playing Deltarune, but also, I mean, if this is how it's gonna go, like, I can't see myself waiting till it's released. I know I can't, like, the full thing. People will be talking about it. I'm gonna want to be a part of that conversation. So, yeah, and spoilers are everywhere. It's hard.
I mostly avoided spoilers for Deltarune Chapter 1. I played it last year, and so I can remember it more, right? Like, the ending has me successfully hooked for what happens next, so I think I'm going to play it, but I think I'm going to wait for Switch, because I also have it, my save is trapped on there, so. But just a cool, for a game like Deltarune, you don't need to give it more than 2 days, right? And there's literally 0 footage, which I think is also fun. Like, I think there was, like, a little bit, right? There was just, like, but I don't even know if that was stuff from 1 or not. It's just, I going in blind is oftentimes the point of those types of games. So yeah. I like that.
I don't know shit about Deltarune. I don't know. I'm excited to just wait till it's all done, because I've been able to just not see. I literally don't even know. I might have seen, like, a screenshot or something about it, but I might not even have known it's, like, Deltarune. I might have just thought it was some fan shit. But, like... Yeah. So, like, I've just gone so long, I don't know anything about it. So I'm like, you know what? I can wait until the thing's out. I think I'm just not on the corner of the internet where anybody talks about it. So
Sure.
That's probably good for me.
Well, but I also feel like the internet is, like, with Undertale, stuff got out there real fast, right? Even if you didn't know, like, specifics, you probably had heard, like, oh, you don't have to kill anyone, right? That type of stuff. Which Undertale, like, originally, like, sort of not knowing that stuff, I think, was part of the original idea of that game, right? But, like, you know, before you played that game, Brandon, last year or the year before, you knew that Sans has had something going on with him, right? Because Sans Undertale just was this meme.
Yeah, I already knew a lot going into Undertale.
Yeah. Where, like, Deltarune, I feel like the fan base has been pretty good about being quiet about it, you know? Like, not also forcing it down people's throats as much.
Yeah.
So then, after that, that's the big one, right? Of course, the biggest release of the year is Pokemon Unite on mobile, but we'll just, you know, that doesn't even need to say anymore besides the fact that it's the biggest release of the last decade. Okay, I have a question. Because everyone besides Saf here owns a PS5. And I don't think any of you played this game. Is there any interest in Death Stranding Director's Cut?
No.
Yeah, for me, because I've never played the original one, yes. But man, realistically, when the fuck am I getting around to playing that game?
I want to play Death Stranding at some point, but on my personal computer, and so when Director's Cut comes to PC, sure, if it ever does. I don't know if it will, but... I have weird hang-ups over Director's Cut, but let's not get into that.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. So then, besides that, it's fine insofar as, like, you know, you can have your thoughts, and if other people are excited for it, it's whatever. I think I'm more on your side, but whatever. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is coming in October. This is a game that we talked about when it first got announced, but I think they're doing this on purpose. If they're paying for this, they've been getting a lot of YouTube and stream free advertising for this game in the last, like, couple weeks. Do you think this is purely a meme, or do you think people will actually buy this game?
I think it is now getting enough. I don't know if notoriety is the right word, but people are taking notice of this game, so I think enough people are gonna get this game. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people are just in it for the memes, right?
Yeah.
But also the memes are helping advertise the game, right? I saw a video the other day where I was like, parody becomes life, because Hungrybox had a video with the thumbnail of him, like, screaming, and the thumbnail in all caps was Smash Brothers is dead.
Yeah. There's a lot of Melee players that really are rooting for this game.
Yeah, because SpongeBob can wave dash, you know?
He can.
Oh my god.
I saw a gameplay overview of this game. It looks cool. I'm into it. I'm into the idea of a Smash clone that just actually gets it right. People really like Slap City. Nickelodeon has cool, fun properties that I grew up with, right? I'm into this game, just not like a day one $50 kind of deal, right? But,
yeah.
you know, in a couple months, and it'll get discounted, and maybe I can convince some people to buy it too, and we can play online for a couple nights, and I'll be happy.
I'll have a good time. Same day, because this might be the other thing that's taking up your time. Super Monkey Ball and a Banana Mania.
Hell yeah.
Oh, baby.
Is everyone picking up this game in this call right now?
I
don't think Saf is.
Yeah,
that's why we got to kick Saf off the
podcast.
podcast.
On picking it up.
Yeah,
I don't know if
this
it's
is
a day
like
one for me though. Honestly,
it is a day one for me. I feel like, you know, with that and WarioWare, I feel like my pick up and play kind of games are set for the year. You know, like I'm just like my Switch, because, you know, I love my Switch most when I'm just using it for a couple like short sessions here and there, right? While I'm waiting for something or whatever. I feel like that's really when the Switch shines, and I think WarioWare and Monkey Ball are perfect for that kind of deal, you know. But yeah, I'm Monkey Ball. I'm there for day one without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, it's also one that's nice because, like, we didn't talk about it on the podcast, but, like, Sonic Colors remaster was brought at release. You know, disaster, seizure-inducing, dangerous, all words that could be used to describe a Sonic release. and you look at that, and then you just look at Banana Mania, and you're like, man, they're doing it right. They're just like, there's so much in the game. Hopefully, that it doesn't cause seizures when it comes out. But just like everything that is included just feels like, oh, there's a lot of stuff they didn't have to do, but it feels like they're doing, and that's very fun, because they just were very passionate about bringing back Monkey Ball. They clearly like it, and they know that we like it, which is nice.
Well, the only thing they're missing now is online play and all the mini games.
Yeah, that's. Mina is getting that on Steam purely so we can do the fake online that you can do with Steam games.
Well, you buying this game twice?
Buying this game twice.
Wow.
I'm gonna help pay for that, but
hats off.
Yeah, I mean, I was offered where people are chipping in so we can play this game online.
So we can play online.
Right. I'm putting the half back on now, but it's still kind of off. I'm like wearing it like sideways.
Like a real cool guy.
Yeah.
3 days later, we're passing over Far Cry 6, so I don't think any of us care.
I care that it gets good ratings, but yeah.
Oh, true, for your fantasy league, that does matter. But then, a game that we all hope bombs because of Fantasy League, Metroid Dread.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. Can it just be October 8th already? Fucking hell.
Damn right.
Have we talked about Dread since it was announced on the podcast?
Not much, no.
No, I think we talked it one at a time.
So how have we felt about it, and how do we feel about it right now, like in terms of like, is there any worries about Metroid Dread, or are you just fully confident in it?
Fuck no.
I
took the day off. Let's go.
They haven't had like a good solid few trailers out since then, and like it's really, really helped in building confidence in that fucking product. They've had like nice like Nintendo Metroid reports to kind of like build up hype as well. Like it's been solid so far. Like I've had very little to worry about for that game. But I don't know, because I'm just a huge Metroid mark. So maybe someone else may have a different opinion.
I mean, I think we're all kind of in the same boat right now, right? Like, I feel like, like fucking Metroid Dread it went from being like, oh shit, 2D Metroid's back to, oh shit, 2D Metroid's back, and also it's looking like real fucking good, and it's getting to the point where it's very hard to not set the expectations stupid high, right?
Yeah.
Which may be a backfire a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with that.
You don't want to go in expecting this is going to be like best of the genre, right? But you do feel the promise, the potential, right? Like this game could be like really just excellent.
People were excited about the announcement, but people were like, oh, Mercury Stream, they've only ever done a remake, right? Metroidvanias as a genre have done a lot since the last 2D Metroid, right? Mm-hmm. And those trailers sort of gave you the feeling of like, oh, they're aware of that too, right? Like, this is Metroid with a lot of new ideas.
Yeah, absolutely.
The rule of second trailers for Nintendo's continues, by the way. But
like, it's not just New Super Mario Brothers Metroid, right? Yeah. Like, where it's just like, hey, remember Metroid? And here's everything you liked about Metroid. It's like, no, this is very much a brand new entry in the Metroid series, right?
100%.
And, yeah, that's exciting. I mean, I think this is easily, probably all of our most excited release. I can't speak for everyone, of course. But
for the rest of the year, yeah. For me, yeah.
100%, yeah. The funny thing about this, like in part of the marketing, or like the consistent, very, very consistent part of the marketing, which I found kind of humorous, is how much they downplay Adam's role in this game as like a fucking guide. It's like Samus is still in control. Samus is the one that calls the shots.
We heard what you said about the last one. We got it.
Yeah, that was fucking hilarious. I laugh every time they mention Adam.
Also very funny because that was 11 years ago, and it's still toxic. People are still nervous when that guy shows up on screen, even as a computer.
How much I really can't wait for the discourse on this game on the internet until like when it comes out and everybody's like, man, like this might be the best Metroid game. This might be the best Metroidvania ever made. And then like 2 years from now, people are like, it wasn't really that good. We can be real about it. Yeah, it's gonna be
It's the people that don't like a thing tend to stick around longer than the people that do like the thing, which is just a weird factor of the internet.
Yeah.
They hold a grudge.
Or just
I'm looking at you already, Mina.
What am I being looked at?
I'm just looking at you. I just want you to know.
You know, I don't know if people will say this about the next game, but I'm excited for it. Back 4 Blood is going out 4 days later. This is a day 1 Game Pass, so and we all have it. So we could have a team right here. But I think Brandon, are you the biggest Left 4 Dead fan here besides at this table?
At this table, yeah.
So are you? How do you feel about Back 4 Blood?
Honestly, I haven't played the beta. I know a lot of people have, and it's been readily available, right? But I've heard good things. People are saying that they're having fun playing the beta, which gives me some excitement because maybe my days of playing Left 4 Dead and having a great time are gone, and maybe that's because nobody plays it anymore with me. But yeah, I mean, I want to be excited about this because I think I would have a lot of fun. My thing that's holding me back from being excited is that nobody's gonna fucking play it with me. So I'm just not excited. I'm not excited about it because I'm not gonna get my hopes up and be like, man, this game looks cool, you know, and then just be like, nobody ends up playing it. So,
you know what's the sucky thing about fucking Left 4 Dead for me? It's like the exact same thing that's happening with fucking Brandon, which is weird because like I managed to get like a group of people to play it like a couple levels for a couple weeks, and then they didn't commit to the rest. It's like okay, so
well, like you two right here could play together, you know?
Yeah, look at that. You're already
halfway there. That. Well, you can say a lot of things, but
I think Left 4 Dead and hopefully Back 4 Blood are nice because they are multiplayer games, but also pretty non-committal, right? Like you say, they don't want to commit, but like you can do every campaign in Left 4 Dead in like 2 nights, right? True. Generally, you replay them; they're very replayable. Is the point?
Sure, right? I played that game for like months, right? Like just playing it over and over again.
And so it's that thing of just like once everyone learns the maps, it's whoever's around, you know, rather than like doing like a Saf and me and you went through Divinity with 4 people, and you all had to just schedule a Sunday every day for a year and a half, right? And I think that's the thing where it's hard, you know.
Yeah.
It's when it has to be these same 4 people. Where for Back 4 Blood, hopefully, with Game Pass especially, there's enough people to all just casually own it that you can just say, "Hey, let's just come on and play," you know?
Yeah, I think that's my silver lining with the game is that because it's on Game Pass, maybe we can easily get groups together where it's not just like, "Hey, can you spend $60 on this game that you might play twice?" Yeah. So yeah.
Just want the record to state right now, I have no intention of ever playing Back 4 Blood.
Oh my god!
You can play it one night.
Just putting it out there, you know. No expectations of me.
Weren't you literally the person who was like, "We got 4 people right here"?
No, you had 2, which was you and Saf.
I said you and Saf.
You found each other on this podcast.
Well, have the same issue, so
this is a 4-player game. Playing with AI is the.
You can't play a 4-player game with 2 people? That seems ludicrous to me.
Be good. Just become good. You know. Carry the weight.
That's true.
This is one that I'm shocked is coming up as fast as it is, and I think that, like, I wonder if it's going to drum up interest more so than it has. Maybe I'm just missing it. Solar Ash is coming out on October 26th, which is the Hyper Light Drifter developers, right? This game has been showcased. It was in the PlayStation presentation last year, and it's showing up at several events ever since, right? And it looks super good, but, like, what is there any interest from any of you on this, or is it just a thing of like too many indie games now? Like it's hard to keep track.
It's a like wait for reception kind of deal. I don't really know what Solar Ash is. I don't I have a vague idea. Like it's very pretty and the movement looks cool and all that, but I don't really know what it is. That's fine, but like I'm sure when it'll come out, you'll get really good reviews and people will have nice things to say about it, and then I'll be interested. But I'm not. It's not on my radar necessarily.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if any of us are going to buy this game, but I'm curious to see how you think it's going to do. Same day. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
This is
I
a
have
video
interest.
game I would pay like $15 for in a year.
Yeah.
I have interest. I'm gonna wait and see what the reception is.
It's one that just Square and Marvel seem so snake bit right now, you know?
I'm actively rooting against this game. I hope it does poorly.
Oh my god.
Because you don't like Square? Or...
No, I am not a fan of the idea that Square Enix has basically demolished their entire Western output to make Marvel games. Right? Because that's what they did. And, they, from their acquisition of Eidos and whatnot, they have a lot of very cool IPs, right? Mm-hmm. That are just dead because of Marvel stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I want this game to fail. Ideally, it does even worse than, what their Eidos studios were doing beforehand, right? Which, I mean, if you would have said a year ago that fucking... I guess a year ago is when it came out now. 2 years ago. If you said 2 years ago that Avengers was going to do worse than the third Tomb Raider game, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which was the worst performing of the modern Tomb Raider trilogy, you'd have been laughed out the building, right? Mm-hmm. People were like, what the hell are you talking about? But it did worse than the third Tomb Raider game, which was the worst selling of those 3 Tomb Raider games. You know?
Me too.
So and to me that's good, good, because it sucks that they pulled Crystal Dynamics off to make a Marvel game. It sucks that they pulled Eidos Montreal to make a Marvel game, right? I don't want these games to succeed. I want these games to do poorly, and
that's very mean spirited.
I hope that they don't just close the studios.
No, I hope they don't close the studios. That would be sad.
Yeah,
but I hope. But what I hope that they get to go back to making original stuff again.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I get that. I hope it's a thing that the wider trend of licensed games supporting more and more AAA developers sort of it doesn't grow. You know, there are ones that are interesting that I think are do it well, but let them do it. Don't let everyone else that clearly has other ideas suddenly be like, oh, we're doing Guardians, right?
I mean, now more than ever, AAA games take fucking 5 years to make, man. So if these AAA studios are making Marvel games, they don't have time for anything else, right?
Yeah.
Insomniac is the literal best case scenario where they get to eke out a singular Ratchet game in that time frame, right? Mm-hmm. But and most studios do not have the manpower to work on these on more than one project at a time, and these projects take forever. So AAA games becoming licensed games means that there's just going to be less original games overall. That's just a fact.
Mm-hmm.
At least on the AAA scale, right? And so that, I don't want video games to be in a situation where, all the biggest movie properties are comics right now, right? Mm. Stuff that came not from that industry. And that's lame. I don't want that for video games.
I agree with all that, though. Yeah, we'll just see how. I don't know. I can't even guess if it'll do good or bad, you know? Mm-hmm. But we do have something at the very tail end of October, right after that, 3 days. Mario Party Superstars for the Nintendo Switch is coming out.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I mean, this is the ideal Mario Party game.
Yeah.
You've done it.
It has online. It's the N64. It's the old style. It has the best mini games from across the thing. It's also such a good make good after the top 100 was so close to a good idea, and then it was trapped on 3DS and it didn't have a fucking boards in it, you know?
Yeah.
There was just there's been so many times that you thought, oh, they'll just do this with Mario Party, it's so easy, and then they never did until now. But
finally they're doing it. This is it. We're here. We've reached the ideal Mario Party game, so I'm excited. Also, just the fact that I'll be able to play Mario Party on the handheld, it was with online, because, I get why it was Joy-Cons only, especially because Super Mario Party at first didn't even have online, right? So it was a game that you were going to play in front of the TV anyway, or on tabletop mode, right? There was no real use case for handheld mode on Super Mario Party. But then they had online, and I was like, oh, well, I sure do wish I could have played this on handheld. And now I can, with Superstars.
Mario Party in bed.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So then, we're in November now. And we have, because you said, I don't know if Metroid Dread is the most exciting game. And I think there's two different games here that are, like, close for me, but I don't know if they beat them. But one of them is Forza Horizon 5.
Oh, that
which is a game that we've seen plenty of at this point, right? Like, they've done a very good job in a very short amount of time making you feel like you understand what you're going to be getting when it goes live, right? But there's also, because I think we talked a lot about Horizon over the course of this podcast and praised it a lot. But there was a while where there was a lot of open world driving games. That sort of just dried up. I mean, driving games in general is sort of, like, there's Trackmania and, like, Dirt and stuff that's, like, still around.
Mm-hmm.
But Horizon is sort of carrying the flag for my favorite form of games where you drive a car. And, I think this game's just gonna kill, you know?
Yeah, Forza Horizon 4 is a phenomenal game. I don't like cars. I love that game.
Yeah,
I'm very excited to play 5. Obviously, Game Pass makes it a clear day one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm and you know, this one looks like the most expansive one yet. Like, you know, I think Mexico is just a very cool setting for this game. I'm super in for this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to admit this for fantasy purpose, but I think this is probably going to be the best reviewed game of the year. That's
sure.
Yeah, it's like I really think the only potential 90+ games we have this year left are like Forza Horizon 5 and Metroid Dread and maybe Shin Megami Tensei. You know, like I think that's it. Like there's no other 90+ games on the horizon.
Yeah. We're speaking of, I mean, excluding the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition, which is releasing in between these two games. But I would say the next big release is Shin Megami Tensei 5 on the Nintendo Switch, November 12th. Which is one that I am personally that's the other one. SMT5.
The trailers have been very good for this video game. They're very, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this game looks rad. A lot of very cool environments it looks like you're gonna go through.
It just looks very good.
It just looked, like, when SMT5 finally showed up again after years, 4 years, I think, right? I don't know what I was expecting, but not this. It looks way more ambitious than I thought it was going to be. I really thought this was going to look... And I think this is also just the classic syndrome of we expect Switch game to look like shit, right? Sure. When in reality... Like, when a Switch game looks better than, like, a ColecoVision game, everyone's like, holy shit, the Switch can do that? You know? But with SMT5, I guess, like, my brain had just adjusted to what Nocturne looks like, right? For what SMT looks like. And I was like, oh, wait, this looks good, you know?
This isn't a PS2 game?
No, yeah. And you know, and they're doing a lot with it, right? Like, the environments look very big and open, like, it feels like a very ambitious Shin Megami Tensei game. One that you can only do on HD. Like, this could not have run on 3DS, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And that's exciting.
Well, because that's part of the thing too. Is in between the last SMT game and this, Persona 5 happened. You know,
blew up,
and you know there was definitely a worry of like, oh, is Persona just going to be the thing, and SMT becomes, because obviously Persona was the spinoff of SMT, right? But now it's like, is it going to be viewed as the inverse? I don't think this game's going to do Persona 5 sales, right? You can't, not enough waifus to date in it, but this is like, clearly they internally are like, no, we want to be seen as like equally as important, as much care and love as any of those games get, right? Which is good. It makes me happy. Oh, you know what we did pass over? We won't talk about it. Does anyone have anything to say about Call of Duty?
No.
It's gonna be a mess.
It's gonna be a success.
I'm worried that it's going to be a mess as well.
I mean, it's gonna also be a success. I'm right, but it's gonna be a mess and it's gonna be a success.
Well, do you think any of that messiness will allow for success for Battlefield 2042? Which is a game that I think looks actually good.
I guess let's just talk about Battlefield then. Is that the next one? Or
yeah, that's the next one.
It got delayed though, right? Didn't it?
It did, but this is the
was in October and now it's in November, and we haven't really seen footage since E3. So in the back of my head, I'm like, is this game also troubled? Right?
Sure.
Maybe not. Maybe
because Battlefield just went out to influencers yesterday, so we will be seeing footage soon-ish of it.
Sure.
Like private servers and stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm curious. Go on.
So they haven't done any like open betas at all or anything like that for
Not yet. The beta is supposedly scheduled for next week. I think
right.
They haven't been clear about when the beta is coming out, but like murmurs are like it's happening next week, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And obviously that's gonna be a big test, but like the game looks great and all, but also to the point where I'm like, whoa, this looks kind of good. But I do think with Battlefield, DICE has not shipped a game that didn't have some sort of issue
in a while.
Entire generation, basically.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Started with PlayStation 4 launch, Battlefield 4 had so many online issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now that's maybe like a drop in the bucket compared to some of their later launches in the generation.
Sure.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Battlefield 1 is like the only one that went without a hitch, I think.
What did 5 have that was a problem?
5, I think it was just like lacking like a bunch of content. I'm not a Battlefield expert,
it was missing the like battle royale thing that it was supposed to have and other stuff.
Yeah,
it was missing
modes. They promised a lot, and then the base game, basically like they made it like the base game barely had anything, and they were gonna add it all back over time, and I think that was people did not respond well to that.
Because that is the risk with 2042 as well, right? This is purely multiplayer. There is no campaign.
Yeah.
Which I was bummed about at first, but all the stuff they're like, it seemed like they were doing a lot of stuff, but you worry that all the stuff they showed is on a roadmap rather than day one.
Yeah. And like to their credit, I think it's interesting. Battlefield is not getting the kind of because when COD had announced that one year that they didn't have a single player, people were like pissed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot, believe it or not, people do play these games for their campaigns. Right? There are a fair segment of people who do that, right? But I've not seen much outrage when it comes to that with Battlefield, so I think they've done a good job of like making people feel like, oh well, there's a reason that there's no campaign, like we really just want to go all out with the multiplayer or whatever, right? I think people are kind of buying into that idea, right? But they do have to but I think that also does put pressure even more so on the day one launch, right? Because it's like, how does this have enough to justify not even having a campaign, right? I'm not sure, but we'll see. That's a big question mark. But people were positive before the delay. We'll see now. I think people are a little more hesitant now, but we'll see.
Yeah. Same day, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are coming out. Are you picking this one up when it goes live?
Definitely.
Why?
Why? I mean, it's a Pokemon.
No, that sounds more accusatory than I meant it to. What Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are games that I'm very curious. I think that like the more further away we get from the announcement, the more I'm happy that they are what they are. Okay. I think a Gen 8 style Senna remake might have just been too contentious. Where I'm happy the Legends gets to just fully be its own thing. And I get to go back to Sinnoh, right? Because that's just a very charming region and a very charming game.
Yeah, I like this, the way they did it. Honestly, I like the way they handled it. I don't think we needed them to keep doing the same pattern, And I love that Game Freak is just being like, hey, you fucking people who think that you know every single pattern about Pokemon, get fucked, Yeah. I'm just glad, and I like the look of it now, and. When it first came out, obviously there was some it didn't look that great, whatever. I thought it looked okay, but now I think it looks pretty good, and it's Pokemon. I'm happy to play a Pokemon game. I'm never ever gonna be like, I'm never gonna be sour on playing a Pokemon game. Ever. I don't think. In my entire life. They're all just fun.
The base of Pokemon is very hard to get wrong. It's a super solid foundation. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was about to ask. I'm glad you brought it up because I was about to ask, because I'm certain like everyone's reaction initially, even mine, was like, this looks kind of pretty standard Pokemon. It looks kind of boring, like when the first trailer came out, and it's like it's interesting to see like people as like as the second trailer came out, because the rule of Nintendo, as Will said, where second trailers are fucking amazing. Like everyone slowly became more and more hyped for it. So it's like it's interesting how that turnaround happened throughout the year, whereas like people are actually thinking about buying this game, even when initially they were pretty lukewarm about it.
Yeah, it's one that like it's also weird because like the next Pokemon game is coming out 2 months afterwards, right? It's just the calendar year makes it feel like it's not as far distant, as close as it is, but it is close. So
yeah, but they're like only 2 months apart, right? Which is wild. Yeah. But I am gonna play this. I am gonna, but just because I'm not skipping a fucking Pokemon game. But I mean, I'm definitely not as lukewarm as I was when it was first announced. When it was first announced, I was like, I don't know, I even want to buy this game. But now I'm like, yeah, okay, like there's enough here, and it just tickled the nostalgia bone. Gen 4 is like the region that I have like the most like nostalgia for, right? Because that's the thing that I played the most when I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm here for it. Still could use that platinum stuff though. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, maybe the thing I'm most excited for is just the music, the remakes or remixes of the music, because Gen 4 soundtrack is amazing, and I really like the remixes for Let's Go.
Yeah.
Nina, this next one's for you. Final Fantasy Endwalker is coming out November 23rd. When do you think you'll be able to be successfully logging in to play the Endwalker content?
Oh, God. Like, Final Fantasy XIV has seen an explosion in popularity over the last 2 years, and especially over the last year, right? Like, Final Fantasy XIV is on top of the world right now. It is huge. But what that means is the launch of Endwalker is going to be a disaster. Like, just a straight-up disaster.
Even now in certain... Like, isn't there a whole data center that you just can't make new characters on right now?
So North America has 3 data centers, right? They sectioned off one entire data center that you're like, you cannot make a character here. Sorry if you have friends here, but it's not happening. Like, you just can't, because the game has just seen this surge in popularity for a lot of reasons. The free trial, the streamers, we've all heard about it by now, right? But like 14 is just fucking huge right now, and so and Endwalker is going to probably be like the peak in its popularity, right? A lot of people are excited for it, etc., and so it's gonna be big. But yeah, the rest in peace the servers. Yoshi P, he's suffering from success.
He's trying to call people to give more servers, and they're like, we just can't. Pandemic.
And yeah, so I'm excited. I think I'll be caught up by then. But the pace I'm going at, I'm pretty confident actually that I'll be caught up by then. But it probably won't matter again, because who knows when I'll actually be able to log in. Yeah.
So now we're in December, and December 3rd is Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp.
Yeah.
This is one that is just, it feels good. It just feels good to see it get a date and know it's going to be out in a couple months, right? This is the first Advance Wars in 15 years or something. Even if it is a remake. Has anyone played 2's campaign?
Nope. 2 will be a brand new game to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've actually never played 1 or 2, so both are going to be brand new to me. I started with Dual Strike on the DS, so yeah, both brand new games. So I'm really excited.
Nice. Advance Wars also, like, I'm also happy about it because it just feels right on Switch. Right, like, it was a game, obviously it it wasn't always like this, but the format of it just works so well in a handheld that's just like nice to hold in your hands, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that in and of itself gives it sort of a unique spot in the genre. Just by that, you know, like it's not overly complex. I think most people can play it and understand what's happening, right? And so it's just there hasn't been a strategy game like Advance Wars for a long time. I mean, there's been ones obviously, but like, what was the name of the one that came out 2 years ago? Wargroove.
Oh,
Wargroove was too hard. Wargroove was too hard for my dumb idiot brain. I need Advance Wars to baby me through the thing. Nell, where are you? So yeah, this is one this just feels good. One that, boy, I hope I feel good about. And the last one we're going to talk about, December 8th, Halo Infinite's coming out.
Da-da-da-da.
Da-da-da-da. So, how do we feel about Halo currently?
I don't know. I can't. I just want it to be good. I don't. I want it to be a good game.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again because it remains true. There is no world in which Halo Infinite campaign ends up making people happy. And that doesn't mean it won't be good, but like Halo, and maybe at this point, maybe it has had the inverse effect, where maybe it can't surprise because everyone is just expecting this game to be dog shit at this point. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's gonna be that either, right? But I feel like Halo is this. It's been this part of it's not this really stupid discourse where either it needs to be the best thing ever, or it's gonna be the worst thing ever. Or actually, a lot of people are saying both. That it needs to be the best thing ever, and it's gonna be the worst thing ever. Though.
Right? I think I've literally saw people say the word cyberpunk-like launch for Halo, and you're like, I don't think it's gonna do that.
Yeah, I am not. Like, let's calm down a little bit here, right? Yeah. So the conversation about Halo Infinite, I love it. It's fraught. It's very fraught, right? And I just. Yeah, there's just, I'm like looking forward to it. I will play the game. I will play the multiplayer, but it is a thing that's just gonna be like, I don't know. I don't want to hear other people what their thoughts on Halo Infinite is. I don't really care to see the reviews. I don't care, and then the whole conversation around Halo. I just don't care. I just don't care.
I'm sure I will at least get joy out of the multiplayer, and I'll probably like the campaign because even the Halo campaigns people don't like, I'm still pretty cool with. I liked Halo 4, so I'm sure I'll have a good time. But like you said, the conversation around it is going to just be a disaster.
It's going to be very toxic, and I'm gonna try to ignore it as much as I can too. I want to have a good fun time with the multiplayer, which I think is probably going to be the best part. All the beta stuff, right? People really liked what they played so far. So
yeah.
I think that at least is going to be pretty damn good. Which that won't be the review. We won't get the reviews on that. It'll just be the story mode because that's the thing they're selling, So
yeah, it's the thing that you have to pay money for. Yeah. So now I have ones that still are claiming they're coming out in 2021. We will decide whether or not they're liars. Among Us on things that aren't Switch and PC.
That's not out yet?
No.
What?
It got announced in March.
What the hell?
And then also showed up at E3. Also did not get shadow dropped there.
What's happening here?
I don't know. While we're at it, let's get to the other one. We still also don't have, we talked about this before the podcast, Fall Guys is still not on Switch or on Xbox.
That one I understand more because they've actually, been... Not to say I don't understand Among Us. I get, they're a small team, they have a lot to do, they're focusing on things, I get it, right? But with Fall Guys, they have been very readily apparent. They're like, hey, first of all, we delayed the game because we want to include cross-play. Which was not going to be a thing at launch.
Right.
Yeah. Right. But now, because I don't remember if they announced the Switch and Xbox versions before or after Epic acquired them, right? Mm-hmm. But regardless, at some point Epic acquired them, and they realized, oh, well, now we have this huge infrastructure, like, we can use Epic accounts to do a lot more things than we could have, right?
Yeah, so it's going to be cross-play and what's the other word? Cross-save. And the rumor is, and this is probably going to be true, there's also going to be Fall Guys Mobile. There's a lot of leaks out there.
I believe that. 100%.
And Fall Guys is going to become free-to-play. So there's a lot that there's a lot that they're working on. At least that's the rumor. Take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that point towards it. One, being on mobile. Two, it becoming free-to-play. And then turning into, like a Rocket League type of model. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure people who bought it will get some stuff that's exclusive to them or whatever, right? But, yeah, I think it's going to become free to play, and so I think that all of that combined is making it so it's taking them a while to get all their ducks in a row. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. But it's to the point where, because now they do have the financial backing of Epic Games, which is enormous, right?
Right.
Where I wonder if the plan at this point is just like one big relaunch, right? Where you do everything together. You do like a big revamp of the game. You make it go free to play. You put it on 10 billion more platforms. You do it all at once, right? But obviously that's a massive undertaking, so I'm not surprised that the ports of this game are going to take a little bit longer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what I do expect like a big, essentially Fall Guys 2.0 at this point, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then Among Us 5.0.
Among Us has a lot that they've promised that's coming, right? Like another map, new roles and stuff, and I don't even know what to expect at this point.
Yeah, it's a wild how much Among Us didn't grow their team after they blew up, which I think ultimately is the correct decision long term. Mm-hmm. Right? Because those people have made enough money that they can just do whatever till they retire. It doesn't matter. You could retire tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they seem to mostly enjoy being a small team. But, like you think of like the Angry Birds people, where like Angry Birds blew up, not in the same way, but like very suddenly, and they added on 500 people in a year. And you just think of Among Us where it was still like 7 people. It's like, oh, okay. Clearly a different strategy.
Probably the best strategy, like you said.
Yeah. For the people that work on it, definitely, probably. Do you think Babylon's Fall comes out this year?
Not scheduled this year, is it?
It's still listed as to be announced. This is on the Game Informer website, so maybe they haven't updated.
That's not happening. There's, like, literally no way in hell. Also, the game is going to be dog shit. That's not unrelated to the conversation, but...
They had that beta.
It looked bad. The game looks bad. Like, oh my god. What? I don't know what...
I honestly forgot it existed, to be honest.
I
generally did.
That's a real bummer.
It wasn't even on, like, the PlayStation Presents, was it? Like, I don't
No, that was just a Square's E3.
Okay.
That's where Babylon's Fall was, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't even on there. So.
Do you think Silksong hits this year? Hollow Knight, Silksong?
I mean, I think Silksong is the game that could very easily pull a Deltarune thing of we're out tomorrow.
Yeah.
I agree. 100% that could easily happen.
Yeah. It's not a game that, like, needs a lot of... And they sort of said that, like, maybe not to the ridiculous extent of a couple days, but they said they don't want to talk about Silksong until it is close to release. Like, they have a hard date.
It wasn't
a few weeks out.
Yeah.
Next time you hear about this game, it's going to be right around the corner.
And so, like, but, like, I'm not expecting it to go this year, but mind you, I wasn't expecting Deltarune either, right? So it could show up. Like, I think the point where I'm like, okay, it's not coming out this year is, like, early December. When we get to Halo's release date and we haven't heard anything about Silksong, then I'll be like, okay, Silksong's not coming out.
I mean, it could also be like it could be like December, like, 28th, and they're like, your Silksong.
I mean, they could, but...
they did that with Super Meat Boy last year, almost ruined my fantasy league.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, and then there's a few other ones. They're mostly smaller indie games, but I feel like those are the big outstanding ones. Let me give one more look through. Yeah, I don't know. This is but this was a pretty big holiday. Like, there's not massive ones, right? Like there's obviously like Halo is there, you know, Battlefield's there, Call of Duty's there, but there like Pokemon, I guess. But I think there's also it continues that thing we've talked about this year so far, which is just like the big boys are sort of taken off because of the pandemic, and so a lot of weirdos are filling in that space, including Nintendo weirdos.
I feel really good about this holiday. Almost overwhelmed, at least for me and my personal tastes. I feel overwhelmed. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to play through all these games that are coming out at the end of this year. You know,
the whole dang lot of games I want. A lot of games I'm very interested in.
Same, and I get that there's not the big cinematic, you know, Sony game that's going to be here, you know, but I mean they also.
But not Sony, like it's like
games are in the holiday anyway.
Well, it's funny because I do think there was a lot of AAA games that were slated for this holiday that just didn't make it, right? Like Hogwarts Legacy or like, you know. But like, it feels like this is a very empty AAA quarter, which is funny because this is usually the most packed one, right? Like, we're really just getting Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Far Cry, right? Yeah. But everything else is on a much... Maybe not smaller scale, like obviously like a new expansion FF14. It's not a smaller, it's not like smaller than a AAA game, but like it's a different thing than what your brain thinks of as a AAA game, right?
I mean, even like it's a safe remake of Pokemon rather than a new generation,
right?
Like just things like that.
It's a weird holiday quarter, but it's one that I think is very like there's a lot. Again, there's just a lot I want to play. You know, Forza Horizon 5. That's technically I guess a AAA release, but like it's not in that mold, right?
Yeah.
And I think, so it's a very interesting holiday season coming up. And there's just a lot of games I want to play. A lot of fucking games I want to play.
Yeah.
Not even mentioning the things that have come out, right? Like WarioWare just came out, Tales just came out, a bunch of other games just came out, right? Like, and those games, I'm liking all of them already, you know. And so I'm just like, well, now I got to beat those before the new ones come out, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Be a packed end of this year for us.
Yeah. So there it is. That's what's coming up. That's like the podcast, but I guess that's proof positive that there's still things to look forward to. Before we go, who wants to do plugs? Who wants to say goodbye? I know I always ask anyways, and I always generally get the same answer every week.
Let's just solidify it. It's the same every week, you know. Brad, do the plugs. That's your job from now on.
Good job. You know,
it's a living.
You do it so well, Brandon.
Before he left, that's what he told me, you know.
Keep the legacy alive, nephew.
Yeah, fuck him. But anyway, hey everybody. I'm glad it's just us now. I'm glad all those other people have shut up for once, for 5 seconds. You know? It's just me and you, listener. And, you know, listener, I gotta say, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for making it this far in the podcast. And I appreciate it, even if nobody else does. And I just want to say that if you did enjoy the podcast, why don't you do me a favor and, you know, listen to some other episodes, because you can find this podcast on all sorts of podcast services. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple Music and everything else. Just Google My Uncle Works at Nintendo podcast, and you can find us, you know, anywhere you want to listen to a podcast. Trust me. And if you want to share the podcast, that would be great. Tell us, you know, on social media, hit us up at Twitter, My Uncle Nintendo on Twitter, and tell us what your favorite game is so far this year, and also tell us what game that we talked about now that you're looking forward to playing the most, and we will tell you. If you align with the same opinions as us, we will tell you that you're smart. So go ahead and hit us up on Twitter.com. We will also post the episodes live there as well when they go up. So if you want to stay up to date on the podcast, you make sure you follow us there. If you want to support the podcast and you know everything we do here, we do have a Patreon where for just $1 a month you get to join our Discord server. and listen to episodes when we record them live and talk to us and other community members about games and news on games and all that. And also, we have another show called the My Uncle's Game Club, where you get a choice. You get the chance to air your choice of what game you want us to play. We play a different game every 2 weeks, and then we talk about it on our other show. So go ahead and give that a listen to. I'm sure there's a game that we've played already that you would be interested in, because we play a lot of different games. So please check us out. Also check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/myunclenintendo. Where, what do you think we do there? You think we fucking talk? Well, we do. But we also play video games. Come on, that's what we're about. So hit us up, check us out, hang out with us. And I think that's all I got to say. So thank you so much for listening. And before you leave, listen to what Mina has to say, because I'm sure it's incredibly important.
We didn't talk about the Giga leak. I don't even know what's bigger than Giga. Giganta leak. The biggest leak to happen in the history of leaks. And we just didn't talk about it. Deracine is coming to PC.